Ever since I was a very little girl, my memories of my dad were just that he was investing all the time and energy that he had into building this little business.
Philip Krawitz is a very dear friend, and I've known him for many, many years. And what I admire and love about Philip is that he brings together so many different worlds. He is a brilliant business leader, a CEO.
I remember him and my mom being away for long periods of time, and he always told us that he would put the time back in because he was really just trying to build a business for the benefit of all of us.
My real beginning in Cape Union Mart was in the 1970s, and my late dad and mom worked together and built the business up from the ground, and we started expanding from there. We had just one little store on the corner of Corporation and Mostert Street. I then started to grow it and open a few stores, and the rest is history.
It really helped us to understand what our family had built because we always spoke about it. And from when I was old enough to see over the counter, I got roped into working in the Old Town store and working alongside my dad and watching his interactions with customers, watching my grandparents' interaction with customers, and really understanding what the business was about and what the family values really were.
Today, we're very proud of our brands. Of course, K-Way, which was the Krawitz way. That is a wonderful brand. We see it wherever we go. You flew back last night and you go to the airport and all you see is the so-called K-Way queue of K-Way bags and jackets. And under the Cape Union Mart brand, that grew. And we decided to venture into something a little more casual for a younger market called Old Khaki. And that brand has grown tremendously as well and continues to grow successfully. And with 3 daughters, I got told that I had to do something for women. My girls gave a hand. They came into the business. They brought their skills, and we started the chain called Poetry, which is really the favorite brand of many women today. And we're very proud of it being completely local.
Today we are 3 chains. We have the Cape Union Mart chain, we have Old Khaki and Poetry. We have 250 stores and employ 3,600 people.
And the fact is that we do our designing locally, we do our manufacture locally, we have the stores run well, and we're very, very proud of the fact that we have this South African brand reflecting all the values that we have in the business.
And my dad will always tell you that he wants Cape Union Mart to be the best choice that anybody ever made for their career.
I was president of the Cape Town Chamber of Commerce and had done the unthinkable in those days in the 1980s by calling for the release of Nelson Mandela and the unbanning of the ANC.
Philip Krawitz established and run and grown such a successful company, thank God. And yet with that, he brings a tremendous dedication to community, to country, to society, to make the world into a better place.
We South Africans have a unique love of our country. And despite all the challenges that we face, that love permeates everything that we do.
I met Philip Krawitz in 1986 when we launched the Cape Town chapter of YPO, and Philip and I both joined at a similar time.
Together with his heavy responsibilities as a CEO, he takes on enormous communal responsibilities.
I'm very privileged to be involved locally and globally with the Jewish community. I was recently elected as a governor of the Sochnut, the Jewish Agency for Israel. I was also very delighted to know that as the president of Keren HaYesod, we are playing a key role in trying to support Israel in her most difficult days. So I have those international connections which I cherish and which I enjoy. And of course, locally, it's my privilege to be involved hugely here.
My dad is an absolute visionary. He's a serial entrepreneur, and he lives and dies by the values upon which he lives.
We've recently created a board of governors of Jewish Cape Town, and I somehow drew the short straw and I'm chairman of that. Chairman of the board of trustees of United Herzliya Schools, our wonderful educational system. I'm chairman of the board of trustees of United Communal Fund.
He has broad vision, seeing things from a very broad perspective, and he brings to those discussions and to his involvement in business and community a tremendous sense of compassion, integrity, honesty, and broad vision to get things done, seeing the big picture, looking over the horizon. And he does that not only in community and in his business, but for South Africa as a country as a whole.
He sets the path, He makes it easy for you to actually volunteer your time because of how much time he volunteers.
People trust him. People find him inspirational. They find him an incredible leader, and they find him just a really good man.
I then, of course, have Ikamva Labantu, which I've been involved with for over 40 years, working with the legendary, as I call her, Saint Helen. And of course, Helen is just such an icon and such an inspiration to us all. I don't think you get too many Helen Liebermans to encounter in a lifetime.
And our first meeting was when he brought his associate, which was one of the ambassadors that he knew, and showed them the townships. And that got us on the road together as partners in crime in every way. And Philip has remained with us, and Philip is now one of our protectors.
And certainly we do a lot of great work with Ikamva Labantu, and we will continue to do that. My co-protector of the trust, Gaynor Rupert, works closely, still displays a strong interest, and we will never, ever let that side down.
He comes into the townships regularly. He has a wonderful relationship with the community. He has the right ethic and understanding of the work that we're doing and how we're doing it. But the big thing about Philip is that he has such a breadth of wisdom, and he sees things and understands things and interprets things so well.
So, of course, I'm committed to Jewish Cape Town, but I'm also committed to the greater South Africa, which is so important to us all. My feeling is, what can I do as a businessman? That is simply to try and create as many jobs as possible, to try and promote local manufacture, to try and educate our workforce and help all our people reach their potential. And those are the things that we can do as a company. As a country, we need to stand up and we need to defend the sort of country that we would like to see in South Africa.
I also have one tiny criticism of Philip, and that is he puts everyone else first. He puts everyone else first. And that in itself is an amazing attribute. And I know that he's above all a family man, community man, businessman, and all things.
But when I look at my dad today and I look at what he's done, and not only what he's done for the business, but what he's done for so many people whose lives he's touched and who he's inspired.
If you can look after your people well, treat them well, train them, if you can treat your customers fairly, if you can pay your creditors on time and treat them with respect, if you can invest in the environment, which is so precious for all of us, if you can be a good corporate citizen in all senses of the word, if you can enrich others, give to charity, and do all of those things, you should hopefully make enough money to live reasonably well. And I think that's what drives my belief in the power of ethics, that we have to play the game by the rules. And it's only an achievement to be successful if you can be successful while playing by those rules.
Philip is an outstanding example of what business leadership can contribute to making this world into a better place.